In 2019, Rich started researching van conversions.
In the past, we had Class C motorhomes, and we didn't use them that often due to their size. So the idea of a camper van was to have something smaller that we'd use more often. A large motivation for doing van life was after Robin's battle with 3 different cancers. We really wanted to travel the country and visit all the national parks, because you never know what tomorrow may bring.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin.
We're Rich and Robin,
And this is our midlife van.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today.
we bought a Promaster and converted it into our own DIY camper van.
We bought a 2014 Ram Promaster 3500, and we put about $6,000 in to build it. We bought a Promaster because we're really appealing to the front-wheel drive. There's a lot of areas we want to boondock and camp at, and we thought it's going to get the best traction.
The wind on my face.
The Promaster is pretty relatively easy to maintain. It's based off of the 3.6 liter V6 engine that's used in a large number of Jeeps and also even caravans. So parts are readily available.
There's no time to borrow today.
We took our time building the van over about 16 months. We traveled in the van occasionally to see how it would best suit our needs.
Today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow today.
So the sink had the fresh water coming from a 24-gallon freshwater tank through a pump, and then we had just a jerry can for the gray water. So it was like 6 gallons, so it was probably enough. I decided to go with a gray water tank. So we put a 15-gallon gray water tank under the van, and then routed the drain out of the sink through a hep bow and into the side of the gray water tank. So for drinking water, we elected to have a Sparklets 5-gallon jug underneath the sink, and then had a hand pump. It's pretty much the same kind of hand pump that you see in some boats.
Today and not tomorrow.
Probably the most appealing about the Promaster is the walls of the van are pretty much straight up and down. So it makes it really nice to be able to have a bed, in our case a queen size bed, that we can sleep east to west without having any bump outs and cutting holes into the side of the walls.
Time to borrow today. Well, something's gotta give today. It's a good day today.
We went with a Stocklow's cabinet for our sink just to make the build easier. And then I finished it off with some shiplap and edging. One of the things I really wanted in our van was a nice large sink and butcher block countertops. So when we cut out the countertops, we kept the cutout and we use it so we can have extra countertop space when we're cooking. and it stores nicely next to the shower and the bench. We love our retro dorm style fridge. It has a large freezer area for us to store our frozen fruit and other items. Right under the bed inside the van was a great spot for a couple of drawers of storage and a slide out step to get into the bed easily. Originally I wanted a slide out pantry next to the refrigerator, but instead I opted to build this easy shelf area with pull-out baskets. Some of our last upgrades to the van build was installing a shower. We have our toilet and shower hidden away underneath another bench cushion. For our toilet, we went with an inexpensive cassette toilet, which has worked great for us.
So for the shower, it's a 24 by 27 shower pan, and then the drain actually goes through another HEPA right into the side of the gray water tank. We went with a 4-gallon electric hot water heater that supplies hot water to both the sink and the shower. We have 500 watts of solar on the roof. It's fixed. And then we have 450 amp hours of glass mat or AGM batteries, and then a 3,000 watt inverter that powers pretty much everything. We have a 110 powered refrigerator. It's like a dorm style, and then that along with the hot water heater, our blender, inductive stove, all that is more than enough power to be able to power all that. And what's nice is we also have the charging system, the engine's alternator tied into the battery system. So while we're driving down the road, that pretty much powers the inverter to go ahead and power up the hot water heater.
We originally did not have any heating in the van, so last winter we added a diesel heater. Rich had looked into the Bosco heater, but the price was out of our budget, so we bought a diesel kerosene heater from Amazon for just over $100. We have had it just over a year now, and it has worked great for us. One of the ways we saved on our van build was to make our own shiplap out of plywood. To divide the space, we used a scrap piece of wood to make a faux beam. Our upper cabinets are built from scratch with inexpensive whitewood and plywood.
So clear a lot as any to see the horizon and the far. Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face.
One of our last additions to the van was when we renovated the upper storage over the bench seat. We replaced our open shelving with cabinets and doors.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give today.
We wanted a platform bed for our build that gave us the ability to have a bed that's always made, and the other bonus is to have a large space underneath for our garage. And it gives us a lot of room without having exterior boxes.
Our bed has a nice futon-like function where we can prop it up and sit and enjoy the views out the back.
And I can feel the sun on my skin.
Also, when we lift up the bed on the inside, we have added some extra storage for kitchen items and clothing. We added 2 swivel seats in the front for extra seating.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow.
The overhead storage in the Promaster is a great spot for us to keep things that we like to have handy.
Not tomorrow, there's no.
For our table, we used a scrap piece of wood and some electrical fittings to build a swivel table that stores between the bench and the shower.
Today is a good day.
Some of the favorite items we have used on our travels is a hanging table for our sliding door and an outdoor fire pit that doubles as a cooking surface. After making our final improvements almost 2 years after we purchased the van, we have spent roughly $7,000 to build out our van, and the van cost $14,000. For a total of $21,000, we have had a wonderful camper van to travel and adventure in.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow.
We're traveling part-time in our DIY. Do it yourselves. Stop it.
Take two. I know.
We're traveling part-time in our DIY camper van.